The settlement on Kepler 442b had been humanity's pride for 3 years now, a testament to mankind's ability to adapt and thrive on alien worlds. Oliver Chen stood at the edge of the crystalline river, his scanner beeping softly as he catalogued water samples. The binary suns cast double shadows across the violet landscape, painting everything in hues no Earthborn artist could have imagined. That's when he heard it, a sound that transcended species and planets, the universal language of distress. Oliver's head snapped toward the rapids downstream. Something large thrashed in the churning water, its spotted coat barely visible beneath the foam. A Zorathian leopard, the apex predator of this world, with 6 legs, crystalline claws, and a reputation for tearing through reinforced steel. Every colonist had been warned, avoid them at all costs, but this one was drowning. Oliver didn't think. He simply moved. His colleagues back at the research station would have called it typically human, that reckless instinct to help, even when logic screamed otherwise. He kicked off his boots and dove into the frigid water. The current seized him immediately, colder than anything he'd experienced on Earth. The Zorathian leopard's eyes, 4 of them glowing amber, locked onto his as he fought through the rapids. Instead of claws, Oliver saw terror, pure primal fear that looked the same whether you had 2 eyes or 4. Easy, easy, Oliver gasped, though he knew the creature couldn't understand. He grabbed onto the spotted fur, feeling the powerful muscles beneath convulse with exhaustion. The leopard didn't fight him. It simply stopped struggling, as if making a choice to trust this strange, soft-skinned being. Together they tumbled toward the bank. Oliver's lungs burned, his muscles screamed, but he held on. His fingers found a root, then solid ground. With strength he didn't know he possessed, he dragged both himself and the massive predator onto the shore. They collapsed together, heaving for breath. The Zorathian leopard was even larger up close, nearly 3 meters long, with fur that seemed to shift colors in the double sunlight. It turned its massive head toward Oliver, studying him with an intelligence that sent chills down his spine. Then it made a sound. Not a growl, but something softer. Almost grateful. The leopard struggled to its feet, shook the water from its coat in a spray of rainbow droplets, and then did something that made Oliver's blood run cold. It didn't leave. Instead, it turned back toward the river, toward a small alcove hidden by overhanging crystalline reeds. The creature made that sound again. Urgent, pleading. Oliver's heart hammered as he approached. Through the reeds, he could see movement. Small movements. He pushed through the vegetation and turned pale. Cubs. 3 of them, barely larger than Earth house cats with oversized paws and eyes that hadn't fully opened. They mewed pitifully, huddled together on a small rock that was rapidly being consumed by the rising water. The mother must have been trying to reach them when the current caught her, but that wasn't what made Oliver's face drain of color. Behind the cubs, carefully arranged on the dry part of the rock, were objects that shouldn't exist. A child's doll, human-made, from the colony. A datapad, its screen cracked but still glowing with what looked like images, and most impossibly, a small solar panel, the kind used in the colony's agricultural domes. The mother leopard nudged Oliver with her massive head, then looked at her cubs, then back at him. The message was clear. "You've been watching us," Oliver whispered, his mind reeling. "You've been learning from us." The implications crashed over him like the rapids he'd just escaped. The Zorathian leopards weren't just apex predators. They were intelligent, possibly as intelligent as humans, just in ways the colonists hadn't recognized. They'd been studying humanity, collecting artifacts, observing technology, and now one of them had trusted him with the most precious thing any mother could possess. Oliver waded into the shallows, the mother leopard watching his every move. He gathered the cubs gently, their tiny claws reflexively gripping his shirt. They were warm and surprisingly soft, making sounds that reminded him of Earth kittens. He brought them to their mother, who immediately began grooming them with her rough tongue, checking them for injuries. The cubs squirmed and mewed, pressing against her spotted flanks. The mother looked up at Oliver again, and this time, he could have sworn she nodded. A deliberate, purposeful gesture of acknowledgement. Then she picked up something else from the alcove, something Oliver hadn't noticed before. A human photograph, water-damaged but recognizable. It showed Angelina Rodriguez, the colony's xenobiologist, crouching near a Zorathian den, her face lit with fascination rather than fear. Oliver understood now. Angelina had been right all along. She'd argued in countless meetings that the Zorathians showed signs of advanced cognition, that they should be approached as potential allies rather than threats. The Colonial Council had dismissed her theories as anthropomorphization. But here was proof. Undeniable, tangible proof. The mother leopard carefully placed the photo in Oliver's hand, then gathered her cubs. Before disappearing into the violet forest, she turned one last time. Her 4 amber eyes met his 2 brown ones, and in that moment, Oliver felt the weight of responsibility settle on his shoulders. He wasn't just a human who had saved an alien predator. He was the bridge between 2 intelligent species, the first to truly communicate across the gulf of biological difference. As he walked back to the settlement, soaking wet and clutching, evidence that would change everything, Oliver couldn't help but smile. This was the most human thing imaginable, reaching across impossible divides, risking everything for a connection. And in the end, that connection might just save them all. The Zorathians were watching, learning, waiting. And now, finally, humanity was ready to listen.